What is going on, Raptors Nation? Luca here, back with another post-game video. The Toronto Raptors get absolutely blown out by the Boston Celtics. This was a devastating, this was an embarrassing, this was basically a humiliating loss by the Toronto Raptors in their early season. The Raptors actually put up a fight in the first half. I mean, somewhat of a fight, only down by, I believe, 9 going into the second half. But then third quarter hit, Boston blew this game wide open, and that was all she wrote for the Raptors. The Celtics absolutely took over. I mean, this was a Celtics win that was as easy as it comes for them. I mean, this was a team that was just playing fun basketball out there. It looked like they didn't even break a sweat a lot of the times. The Boston Celtics just got theirs, and they were just feasting on a Raptors team that looked like they were not ready for this one at all, as the Raptors end their road trip with an L. They go 2-2 overall, but this is definitely a sour note to that road trip. We're going to get into it. Do me a solid, guys. Hit a like and subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. All right, so let's dive right into it. Before I give you some of my takeaways, let's look at the numbers first. So field goal percentage, I mean, the Celtics, they were shooting it at a high percentage all night long. Like I said, making it look so easy. They shot at 60% in that first quarter, end up shooting it 54.7% overall. Raptors, just 38.5%. Three-point percentage for the Raptors was terrible, 27%, 10 of 37 from the field. We're starting to see a common theme from the Raptors. When their three ball isn't falling, their offense seemingly stalls. And I mean, that was the case in this one, especially early on when the Celtics made their first run. Celtics shot at 34% from three. Free throws, Raptors actually got to the free throw line more times than the Celtics, which is surprising. Usually the Raptors, whenever they go up against a championship level team like the Celtics, they get dominated when it comes to free throws. But that wasn't the case. Raptors got all rebounded by 9. You look at assists, Celtics were +5, 30-25. Raptors actually had 8 steals to the Celtics 1. Celtics 4 blocks to the Raptors 1. Total turnovers, Celtics turned the ball over more. Points in the paint, unlike the Mavericks matchup, this time was the Celtics dominating. 60 points in the paint compared to the Raptors 42. And the Celtics' largest lead, 30. Raptors, they did have a 6-point lead at one point early on, but that felt like a mere distant memory after this one was over. I mean, the Toronto Raptors, I guess the first main takeaway for me is there's a clear talent discrepancy. I mean, when you look at these two teams, right, you got a clear championship contending team in the Boston Celtics. Meanwhile, the Raptors, they're not that. And this is what this game proves. This game proves that the Raptors, they're still a work in progress. And, you know, when you compare them to a championship level team like the Boston Celtics, they still have a long way to go. I mean, this is a team that is still unsure about their grand plans, about which direction they're going to take. They're kind of just seeing things through for the season. And it's kind of felt like that type of season to this point. You know, obviously 9 games in, we've seen some good, seen some bad, kind of this inconsistent 500 type of basketball. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the theme of the season, you know, where the Raptors, they have moments like they did against Dallas, but then they have moments like they just did against the Boston Celtics, where they meet a real heavyweight and they come up small in size. I mean, you look at the Raptors, their best players did not come to play. And that's the thing. Like, I see guys pinpointing this on Scotty Barnes, who had his worst game, could not, you know, hit a shot. He really struggled from the field, or Siakam. There's not one guy I'm pinning this on. This was the Raptors collectively. I mean, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Scotty Barnes shot at a combined 13 of 45. So none of the Raptors' best players showed up. These were guys that were pillars of the Raptors and some of their more signature wins to this point. And, you know, those are guys that did not play well. Barnes was a -28. He really struggled in this one. And Anunoby was a -26. Siakam was a -9. And, you know, you look at Siakam, continues to struggle from 3. Scotty Barnes, he kept shooting it. I mean, he was 2 of 9 from 3. And I wanted to see those guys be more aggressive, really solidify themselves, you know, get inside, make something happen. Because when you look at the star play in this one, I mean, it wasn't even close. You look at Siakam and Barnes' production going up against Tatum and Brown's production, like night and day. Like, Jason Tatum was scoring at will easily. There was no resistance against Tatum whatsoever. He finished with a easy 27. Porzingis, who always lights it up, it seems, against the Raptors, he had 21, pardon me. It looked effortless. And Brown had 29. So you look at Brown, you look at Tatum, the dynamic duo that is the Celtics, Raptors duo in Siakam and Barnes didn't show up. And then you have to deal with 21 coming from Porzingis. Like, that's what makes the Celtics team so tough to beat. And that is why the Raptors are not close to where their Celtics are in the totem pole of championship supremacy. And, you look at the Raptors, their bench was terrible once again. Like, at one point, Sam Hauser had outscored the entire Raptors bench. The Raptors bench ended up getting more points than Sam Hauser overall, but that was because of garbage time. Flynn actually led all bench scorers with 12, even though he was a minus 21. Again, garbage time, emphasizing some of these bench numbers. So this was just a game that the Raptors didn't come to play. And it's not a little bit, it is disappointing because although I didn't expect the Raptors to win this game, guys, at the very least, I thought they were going to put up a fight. I mean, Celtics, second of a back-to-back, Raptors, well-rested, coming in. I know they had that awkward, 2 days on the road, but, you come in, early season matchup against the Celtics. You want to prove a point that, you do belong with these teams. And this was an early season measuring stick, and the Raptors couldn't even make this competitive. That's the worrisome part about it, that this was just a no doubt about it Celtics win. And this is starting to be the theme with Raptors Celtics. The Celtics have now won 5 straight against the Raptors. These games haven't been close the last couple of times. And, we saw it in this one. Raptors, like I said, first half, at least a respectable effort. Second half completely fell apart. And again, it was just their defense that allowed Tatum, Porzingis, and Brown to get such easy buckets. And the Raptors, they couldn't get anything falling tonight. Again, Siakam and Barnes, when you go up against teams like the Celtics, you need your duo. You need your quote-unquote best players to show up in a big way. They did not. And then Anunoby, who has been sharp on both ends, he had his worst game of the season. And Anunoby has struggled against the Celtics in the past. So this was just a bad beat for the Toronto Raptors. And then to make matters even worse was that challenge by Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics. I mean, what was that all about? Up 27 in garbage time, Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics challenging a meaningless play. Like, Darko, apparently, post game, I saw he said no comment. Like, that definitely struck a chord with Darko and the Raptors. That is disrespect. I mean, that's something you don't do. That's like an unwritten rule. You're kicking the other teams, what. No need to challenge it. So that's another part of this game, that the Raptors not only got beat, not only got blown out, but they got embarrassed. Like, that was just something that you did not want to see, and the Raptors couldn't do anything about it. The Celtics just beat them down to the barrel. To make matters worse, they do that, and this is just a game for the Raptors they're going to want to quickly forget about, get on the plane, come back home, as the Raptors are going to begin a homestand. But yeah, the Raptors were not good in this one at all. Worst game of the season, easily. And they virtually stood no chance against this new look Celtics team. And they will be seeing the Celtics again next Friday. So we're going to get a good I think we already have a good representation of this team somewhat, but we're going to get an even better representation and feel of this team next week, because the Raptors are going to be taking on the Bucks, but then they're going to be taking on the Celtics team again that I think is a lot more polished than the Bucks are to this point. And we're really going to see how this Raptors team fares against, quality teams. But we've seen it kind of already, right? The Celtics, they got handed. They lost the Sixers twice. I know they did beat the Bucks, but the Bucks haven't looked good out of the gate. So again, I think this is just, telling of the fact that this is going to be the type of season for the Raptors as they try to figure themselves out. But in a game like this, you need your best guys to go. You need your bench to give you something. You need basically all hands on deck to have a chance against the Celtics. None of that happened. The Raptors struggled to shoot the basketball. Their defense wasn't good. And the end result, Celtics win their 5th straight game over the Raptors, and they improved to 4-0 at home. And they beat the Raptors once again. So those were my takeaways. What was your takeaway to this, guys? Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't new. That is it for me. It's Lucas signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe.